Good morning, everybody. 3 minutes, and then we'll be ready to go. I'll be back in 30 seconds. It won't even take to the, I don't think it'll even take to the fancy opening, but let's get it. I'm screwing you up. All right, let's get to it. I thought we were bonding. Yep, we're bonding. Kind of, not really. Okay. Oh, I can't go any higher. All right, that's it. This is what we get for bonding. Let's go. Let's get to it and pull the numbers up. 0.2 on the month over month. Make sure I have the right mic. It's been jumping. 0.2 month over month. No, I'm good. 0.3 core in line. 2.5 higher than expected. Core higher than expected. The index came in higher than expected. Overall, in line, I don't know that you're going to stay up here. Let's see what you do here. They're decent numbers. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I'm just going to have to sit down. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I thought I had it. I thought I had it all figured out, but now it's pulling on something. So let's just do it. And see what you get out of this. You might get some relief on some of these other names, like Rivian and those names. They just might have been waiting for that data to come out. And they were just waiting for that data to come out. As soon as that data came out, they rallied. I think that's what you're going to see today with this thing, actually. So they were just really waiting for that. And then right after that, it just jumped. So I think that's what you're waiting for there. Where was your move? 14. Yeah, I don't think that that's what's going to happen with this thing today. So, well, I think you're going to actually explode here. You look really good too. Anytime you can do something like that, like this, that they did, where you're coming out and revenues are ramping up, you're selling more models. Crazy when you make a car that people want, even an EV. Interesting. So let me show you this. I think this is super interesting here. And then we'll click over on it. So you've got a lot going on there today, like a lot. And it's actually ramping up. It's actually getting stronger, not weaker. So super interesting from my perspective on that. So see how this plays out. Gold rallying on this, which is good. And what else do we see here that's of interest? Let's see if we hold. Let's see what we actually do here. The coin's super interesting because you're getting downgrades and like the thing just doesn't care. It just keeps rallying. I'm actually short this, but it really does not seem to care like at all. So I'm really curious how that plays out today. Anyone else have their system like super slow today with this? I don't even know if we're going to be how we're going to do this today if it keeps doing this. I'm going to have to use a backup system. It looks like if you keep doing it. It was doing it all day yesterday too, super slow, like insanely slow. It was really maddening. Hopefully it gets hit and then we'll go from there. Like I'd rather buy it when it gets hit. I'm not sure you're going to stay up though. I mean, they're good numbers, but I'm just not so sure that this is what we're going to see. Traders price a 50% chance of a third rate cut this year now. Yeah, I don't know why they're getting so giddy on these rate cuts, honestly. Yeah, there it goes. So that's what I think you're going to get. And
order filled.
Oh, I think you're going to go. I do. I think you're going to go. So I think that's going to lift. They really crushed. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Which is kind of cool to say. I like when watching these companies actually like really innovate. I see them all the time in Miami. So today's absolutely insane, but I'm going to do my best to stay as long as I possibly can. I'm super, super behind. Let's get to the ES here. And I really like those numbers. I mean, they're in line. So that's pretty much exactly what you're looking for. You saw a real big rally in gold on that. You're seeing a big rally in metals on that. I think a lot of people thought that was going to be a dumpster fire. So clearly it's not. And now we'll have to see, how that plays out. But, kind of go from there. Let's clean all this off and we'll start over and we'll do it with a 5. And let's get rid of this. This is just a mess today, isn't it? Hold on one second. We're going to have to regroup here now that the CPI is out. CPI was decent. That's good. Jump to the wrong. I don't know what I'm doing here. Hold on. All right. Here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to get more coffee. And I got to open this window. And I got to get my coffee. All right. All right. These are your really big levels. Let's go to a 4-hour real quick here. And I am going to have to jump at 9 o'clock because I already see a technical issue with the system. And I'm going to have to switch systems today because I'm not going to be able to deal with this. I have too much on. I do want to look at this level, even though it's not as relevant. They did this stupid update, and it is freaking exhausting. So up volume, we're going to make you white and bright. And down volume, we're going to make you blue. Value area up, we're going to make you blue. Value area down, we're going to make you white. Okay. So, we can see it pretty clean. It's interesting that you're still holding that area. Let's jump that to a 5. People are lowering the target on Expedia because someday an AI might do something. Okay. All righty. If you break that, how bad does it get? That's really what I'm concerned about, more than anything. How bad could you get? You can get bad. You can come down to these levels. You don't want to break here, that's for sure. You can get down there. I'd be super careful here. But you should see some stability in metals on that. Out of everything that I'm seeing or everything that I think will happen, I should see stability on metals on that. Oof. That's kind of where I would watch. I think that's super important. You know, I really don't like how that's done. You see the problem with this? I do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to clean all this off, and then we're going to put it back the right way. Let's go to this, and then I'll take questions. I just want to get through this. There's so many cool names that came out. I love when these secondary names come out and like beat and do stuff. You want to use that? No, I don't. I want to come all the way back here and use you. And then what I want to do is get to the point where, okay, I don't understand why you're not giving me the thing that I want. Can you please go away? We're going to do this today, huh? Okay. All right, so the value area, I want you in white, and we're going to make that a thin line. I want you in white, and we're going to make that a thin line. Bum, 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 bum. And that is so much freaking better and cleaner, isn't it? Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice when things are nice and clean? Isn't that better? Look how much cleaner that is. Look at it. I can't wait to get t-shirts made. I need coffee, bro. Nobody wants this without coffee. No one. Oh, nectar of the gods. Gold's still going to go. Any of those names are still going to go. Any of the metals should hold. Now, let's go take a look at the NQ, and then we'll go from there. And then I want to show one more thing. But I can see a problem already come with the system. And so I have to reboot the other system. This is your key level today on the NQ. I'm not, for time's sake, I'm not going to drop to that. This is like your red line. It's unbelievable what's going on with this thing, man. So that's your red line in the sand. So we want to watch that right there. But we want to make sure that we can get through that. Okay. All right, cool. So then I want to go to the Qs and then I'll take questions because I know that I can already see how this day is going to play out. And boop, boop, boom. And what you would do, like always, is just want to put a little alert there in case we break that. And let's go to the 1 for a minute. I'd really rather do it on the 1 minute. Oh, good. It's the same thing. And we just want to see what happens when we get to this because this tells us where the algorithms are. And then we can make better decisions as to what to do. And then, of course, you'd want to measure that. But then you really get down here to like that 585. And can it get that ugly? It can. Hopefully, these numbers are not as bad as people thought they were. One of the things that we could do, besides looking at, what's going on with
U.S. market movers, DraftKings, Instacart, Merck, Pinterest.
DraftKings in a lot of trouble, like a lot of trouble. Let me go and take a look at this. I'm curious what the bond market did. You rallied on yield. That's super interesting. The dollar deal. So you're already reversing. What did gold do? Rallied up for 5 minutes and stopped. So how concerned are you about this? Or are you not? Don't seem overly concerned, do you? Not really. No. All right. Okay. Yep. Okay. Let's take questions. Let's do it that way. I think that's a better way to go about this for the time that we have. Sorry, I gotta move this out of the way. You might get a government shutdown. I just saw that comment. Bum, 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 bum. Just going through these super quick. See if I'm missing anything I got to get to right away. It did. Bear ETFs. I think you have to be super careful about we broke the level, and I apologize for how slow this thing is. I don't know if everybody's having the same issues with the system that I'm having, but it's absolutely insane, the issues that I'm having. So let's open up 10 of these so that we'll have these charts ahead of time. But I had this issue with the system yesterday, and it's been like this conveniently right now, right? When the market's just crazy. But I have different systems that I can use. I'm just going to make that white so we can talk about it. I don't know that it's as big of a thing as we think it is, because I think that you broke it here, it did nothing. It broke it here, it was a buy. You broke it here, it was a buy. Is that a buy? Because this is what happens. We assign a value or that something's supposed to happen if this happens, and then the exact opposite thing happens, right? So we really want to be very cognizant of that, I think. So when I see something like that, I don't want to go out there and say, oh man, you're doing X, Y, and Z. I certainly don't want to do that. So for me, it's more about, okay, how does this play out? In other words, like, what should I really concern myself with here? Or what should I really pay attention to? I think you have to be cognizant of it. I don't think that you have to put yourself in a position where you're worried about it. If you start seeing other stuff, like here's the 12, let's do it this way. We'll clean on this real quick, John, because this will populate them. So like if I had this huge rally like up, and then we have this huge cross down and we break and the structure starts changing, yeah, I'm a little more concerned about it. But being in the same exact spot that we've been since October coming across, I'm not overly concerned about it. And, that's really where, my head is with it. I'm not concerned about it. So I really think that when I look at it that way, that's kind of where I'm going with it. I don't see any reason for me to panic it. What I do think more than anything is that, in looking at it, how can I say this? In looking at it, I'm not really rallying anymore. Like the rally's already kind of fading, right? I just kind of think you want to have your head on a swivel, but I don't think you should be making any major decisions on that, John. I just don't feel that way. I really think you're just better off letting this all settle in and figure out what it's going to do, and then kind of going from there. I don't think it makes any more sense to do, that more than anything else. But thank you, little British guy. But I just don't think it makes any more sense to do anything like that until we have a better sense of what's really happening here. And I don't know that you're even going to get that today. So, and I'll show you what I mean by this while we're talking about it. If I go and take a look at like Bitcoin, and this is one of the things I need to see hold. Now, we got to this 50% level, right? And this is why I'm saying that. So there's 50%. We broke it. Now you're sitting above it. Like it's kind of crazy. So for me, looking at it, it's like, okay, so are we really going to hold? Because you broke it yesterday. Now we're back. We just happened to get right above it. Now we're sitting on it. So you're on some major levels here. And what we really want to do is just be cognizant of that and then see how those levels play out. And I think you're better off doing that. You have a major issue here with the market, and it didn't get better. It's gotten worse. Certainly from yesterday, it got worse. And, these moves show exactly what we're talking about, where people are like a cat on a hot tin roof. And I think that's really very important. So, let's see what you're doing here. I think it's really important to have your head on a swivel and not be committed to anything and be really, really open right now. It's a really tough time because what's happening is what you think is supposed to happen is not happening. So like, and you're like, what the hell does that mean? So like here, I'll explain. So you see how the market's up 11 basis points, and I'm doing this because I have to be fast today because I have a lot going on. And then SanDisk is down 3%. STX is down 3%. PL, where is it? Micron's down 2.3%. Western Digital's down 3%. Like, why is that happening? Well, they're the names you're supposed to be buying. Well, why are they blowing up? Right? Do you see where I'm going with this? So like the leaders are blowing up, but you're supposed to go out there and you're supposed to buy coin that had a loss. So like and don't get me wrong, like they're just getting squeezed because everybody short them. But you're supposed to make $1. Like that was your estimate. And you lost 240, right? And you missed revenue, and your earnings missed by over 300%. Like it is a disaster. And why is the stock trading up? Because everybody's short. So the only thing that's really happening in this market, and it's been happening for a really bad day, and it really has been happening for like a really bad day. I guess that's it for Badoo. Finally, they started doing this, naming these companies as what they are. You know, I don't think that that's going to help it today. That's for sure. Being named as a foreign adversary. I don't know why these companies even trade on our exchange, on the U.S. exchange. This is super maddening today. You ready to work yet? Or is everybody else having issues with this thing? Or is it just me? Let's put these in. But I really think these things will come in hard on that news. I actually think they shouldn't be on the U.S. exchanges. I'm not really sure why they are. I'm really not. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I have to go to the backup system today. I can already see it coming. But comment if you're having issues. So I think you really want to have, I'm going to say it again, I really think you want to have your head on a swivel today. I don't think you want to commit to anything. I think that what you're seeing is, I said it 3-4 days ago, I'm seeing the shorts rally and I'm seeing them sell the longs. That's bear market mentality. You're not in, like, I'm not going to say it's a bear market, but that is a bearish sentiment because everybody's in the same short trades. Like you can go and listen to that Coinbase call. There's nothing good about that. Like there was nothing there that was like, oh man, I got to get in this. What's there is everybody like myself is short. Now I'm just going to short more of it today at some point, or maybe Monday, but that's where my head is. But I do think that where people fail here is committing. Like, and I think that this is really important. So like, I'm just going to do it. Just do it. You have to think about it from, you know, not this so much, but yeah, I don't know how these things just don't get blown out. Because any U.S. company, anyone in the U.S. is going to have to look at this and go, do I want to hold these things over the weekend? Right? Like, why? But you have to think about it like here. If you look at the Qs, I said this last night. Come on, here we go. You know, when you really look at from back here to here over, nothing changed. Like nothing fundamentally changed about the market. Yet you had NVIDIA go from 170 to 80. You had AVGO go to 187, and they came out with a $10 billion buyback. So, you know, Micron can go down to, you know, wherever it wants to go. And let me just show you. So up, and then we called this yesterday and said, like, do not get involved in this. So, and the reason was because it looked like a short squeeze and how they trapped everybody. But if I come over and look at this and get rid of it, like real quick, hold on, and we'll do it this way without the pre and the post. And we'll do it without the pre and the post, maybe. There we go. And we look at this and we just study it. Like you gap down, you hit a level, and then they bounced off that level. But all they did was trap shorts. That's literally all they did. And they did it for like a day, and then they gap it up and go, ooh, you better get out. And then what do? They're hammering them again today. So like, is there any reason when you look at this that these things can't get smoked and this can't come back down to 264? Like zero. They can get smoked. So that doesn't change the outlook of the company. It doesn't mean that I need less chips. It just means the company got freaking smoked. Right. So you actually want that if you want to own these things. Like why pay 500 when you could pay 260 and then stay in for the move? So I tell everybody when this happens to have their checklist of the names that they want to own so that they can buy them. And I think that makes way more sense. I hope that helps. So I can already see I'm not going to get too many questions today, and I apologize, but I'm going to have to jump here, guys. 5 letters. What is this? A Mensa test? What are you doing to me today, Jacob? P-R-Y-M-Y. If I say it out loud, it'll be easier to remember. I want to look at, okay, why that one's loading in, we'll go to this one. SBG, SY. I don't know what the hell this thing's problem is. So annoying. Yeah, I don't know what's in that. I don't know anything about it. I really don't. I can look into it, but I'm just talking out of my butt. Energy, data center, infrastructure, anything that's got to do with that. I think your slant really needs to be, I really think your slant's got to be global AI, not US AI. So, you look at something like AIQ, even though like they'll get smoked the same way, and they are getting smoked, like that's pretty bad. Like I've seen bad before, and this is what it looks like. You see where you are here and how this is. So you need to put the brakes on with this stuff, dude. You need to let this all chill out and figure out where it's going. The only thing that makes sense to me is, and I do agree with the infrastructure plays because it's not going away, but you're going to have to watch that stuff. I would not be in any huge hurry here. I think Microsoft's at more risk than people think it is. I've talked to some really smart people the past couple of days, and a lot of people are saying the same thing. It's Microsoft. Okay, well, it was the best buggy whip company until you didn't need buggy whips anymore. I mean, if you play around with this stuff and you start playing around with AI and you really see what like Anthropic Cowork is doing, do you really want to make your own? Do you want to make your own PowerPoint? Because like I know I don't. I'd rather just tell Anthropic to do it and then have it made. Like I'm at the point where I know very little about this stuff, right? But I know enough to be dangerous. But I can go on Anthropic now, and I don't even have like this Cowork thing, and say to Anthropic, here, put this in Hunter Green lettering, and make this a PowerPoint presentation that I can present on Saturday. So now I get all my data, and I can put it in there, and then they can set it in a presentation form, so that I can show it to the community a lot quicker, or I can write research reports again. I don't think it's going to take hours. What do I need PowerPoint for? Like for what purpose? Like what do I need that for? So, and that's just me using the basic one. I pay for it, but I'm not even using this new advanced one that's doing people's taxes. So I think people are grossly underestimating what's going on here. And I think when I dug into it, I read this really good piece, and I pay for the research. I have no affiliation with them, but I'll plug them. So I pay for semi-analysis, and I pay for like their highest end stuff that you can get. It's pretty expensive, but it's good. And they broke down that AI implementation is like 3.3%. Think about that. 3.3% for Copilot. Like it's insane. It's not being implemented. So do I want to buy this? Do I want to buy the company that, do I want to buy this company? Well, why? Because it's going to hold. Okay, well, this guy in Germany just showed Anthropic doing its taxes for him. Like, here's all my stuff. Do my taxes and file. Okay, so what do you need this for? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, people are looking at this stuff and going, oh, well, it was 600, and based upon this, bro, this, doing trailing might not work right now. Saying, and I mean this, like, because I respect the people that are looking at this, and they're talking about taking huge size positions in this thing. Like, oh, what's it matter? Like, it's Microsoft. It always bounces, and we'll be looking back on a year and saying we should have known this. Maybe, maybe or maybe not. Damn it. And I think that's really where your head has to be with it. I don't think it's that simple. I truly don't. Maybe it's simple for like a trade to like 440 or something like that. But, I don't know that it's that crystal clear. I tend to believe it's not, honestly. I'm going to go through this so quick because I'm super late. I'm going to have to load in a new system. I can already see it coming, the problems. Aerospace names, what do you got? Anything like that, SAFRY. But let's see if that loads in while I'm waiting. I'll go through this real quick. The shutdown does matter. You don't have a government shutdown in these numbers. Not even close. Let's go to the daily. I wouldn't touch this right now. I wouldn't go near that. I don't think the government shutdown's priced in. Your trading view is working normally? It is? Yeah, U.S. markets are closed Monday, right? What's up, Mon? A lot of people don't like the Copilot. And trading view is normal. Go Pats. Boo. All right, I'm out of here, guys. I got to fix this before I start the day. Trade to win. Make good choices.